And this is a Fox News alert. There are new developments tonight regarding the Ground Zero Mosque. Earlier, the pastor of the church in Florida, who was planning on burning copies of the Koran this weekend, canceled his event, saying he had reached an agreement with Imam Rayouf.
The Imam has agreed to move the mosque. We have agreed to cancel our event on Saturday. And on Saturday, I will be flying up there to meet with him.
All right, it took at least an hour before anyone could verify this claim. Now, several hours passed, and Imam Rayouf told ABC News, quote, "I'm glad that Pastor Jones has decided not to burn any Korans. However, I have not spoken with Pastor Jones or Imam Musre. I am surprised by their announcement. We are not going to toy with our religion or any other, nor are we going to barter." Now, this reiterates Imam Rayouf's position that he took last night on CNN, warning that moving the mosque would have dangerous consequences.
If we moved from that location, the story will be that the radicals have taken over the discourse. The headlines in the Muslim world will be that Islam is under attack. If we don't do this right, anger will explode in the Muslim world.
But that's not all. The mosque developer, Sharif El Gamal, denied that there is any plan to move the mosque. He said, quote, "It is untrue that the community center known as Park 51 in Lower Manhattan is being moved. The project will proceed as planned. What is being reported in the media today is a falsehood." But the Florida pastor is still sticking by his story. And meanwhile, questions also arose today about whether the mosque would be sold. Now, the main mosque investor initially indicated that he was open to selling the site for the right price. And Donald Trump, well, he took that claim seriously, offering to buy out the investor's stake in the mosque, plus 25% investment increase in price. But the investor's lawyer rejected Trump's offer, calling it, quote, "just a cheap attempt to get publicity and get in the limelight." And joining me now with reaction to this, the developing story, is from the Act for America president, Brigitte Gabriel, and filmmaker, journalist, friend of Imam Rayouf, is Jehan Harney is with us. Guys, welcome back to the program.
Hi,
I want to play one more shot here,
you.
and this from the CNN interview, and I think this goes to the heart of what the Imam is saying, Brigitte, which is basically, we don't get the mosque. Americans, you better be ready for an attack. Here's what he said.
I'm sorry, I don't mean it that way. I meant it that the danger from the radicals in the Muslim world to our national security, to the national security of our troops. I have a niece who works in the army and served in Iraq. The concern for American citizens who live and work and travel overseas will increasingly be compromised if the radicals are strengthened. And if we do move, it will strengthen the argument of the radicals to recruit, their ability to recruit, and their increasing aggression and violence against our country.
Jehan, you said the same thing to me earlier today. You said there'll be smoke, there'll be fire. So in other words, if America, 70% of Americans don't want this mosque built, you're saying if that mosque is not built, America can expect attacks?
Sean, it depends on how you look at this. This mosque, for some odd reason, it's not actually a mosque, it's a community center. And I believe that's how it's being seen overseas. A community center that has a pool and has space for other people to pray in.
We don't have a lot of time on TV, Jehan. I'm asking you. You said to me earlier, and Imam Rayouf said, if the mosque is not built, we better expect attacks.
It could be used by radicals as a way to attack America.
You said there'll be smoke, there'll be fire.
It's a double standard. It could be, but it's not something for sure, but it could be. If people want to attack us in any way, this could be one leverage they can use against us.
So basically, Brigitte, we give in, we capitulate to radicals, thinking that our capitulation is going to buy us what? Now, all of a sudden, those that buy into jihad and radical jihad and are plotting and planning and killing, now all of a sudden they're going to be nice to Americans?
Of course not. They were plotting on killing us back in the 90s. The Taliban trained 10,000 al-Qaeda members in Afghanistan in the 90s when Clinton was president. They attacked America in 1993. We were not anywhere in the Middle East. This is total nonsense. And by the way, I infiltrate Islamic chat room and I listen to what's being said in the Muslim street in Arabic. They're not calling it a community center. They call it the mosque at Ground Zero.
Yeah. All right. Well, Brigitte, let me ask you this. And I want to specifically on the political side of this question ask you a very simple question. The president is defending the First Amendment right to build the mosque on ground zero on the one hand, and then the president speaking out. And I disagree with the pastor. I think it's unnecessarily provocative in the case of burning the Koran. But the president speaks out against him. What are we to interpret from that?
Well, the pastor has a constitutional right to burn the Quran, just like Imam Rauf has a constitutional right to build his mosque at ground zero.
But why defend the imam's right but not defend the pastor's right?
Exactly, and that's where the double standards come.
No, that's
Even
because this is a civilization that doesn't disagree religious symbols. This is a civilization, Brigitte. We're not like the Taliban who desecrate, statues of Buddhist statues. Okay,
we're not like talking about a constitutional right here. Just because they have the constitutional right,
but there's also something called right and wrong.
Right to do it wrong. Exactly, and it is wrong.
All right, well, let me ask you this, Jehan, because I think this is an important component to all of this. Where is the tolerance in the Muslim world? If a non-Muslim American wants to go to Mecca, if a non-Muslim American wants to go to Mecca, are they allowed to go to Mecca? No. So the question is, why aren't the very same people that are demanding that America allow the building of this mosque at this site where 3,000 Americans were killed by radical jihadists, why aren't the same people demanding that non-Muslim Americans get to go to Mecca and Medina?
Actually, the issue about this mosque in the Middle East is actually not that big.
Answer the question,
not as big,
Jehan.
of course, as the burning of the mosque, the burning of the Quran. But we are talking about a different country. We're talking about a different system. We're talking about a theocratic society versus a pluralistic society.
There are millions of people watching.
I know, but we are different.
I want to hear you say.
We cannot compare ourselves to Saudi Arabia. We have our own standards.
Yes, we can.
We are unique.
Yes, we are unique. I agree, and we're special. And I actually, unlike President Obama, agree with the concept of American exceptionalism. But you refuse to condemn Hamas as a terror organization. I'll give you an opportunity tonight if you'd like to, but you have steadfastly refused to condemn Hamas as a terror organization.
This has nothing to do with the mosque.
No, it speaks volumes about your willingness to speak out courageously against terror. Number two, I want to ask you, will you call on Saudi Arabia to be more open-minded and allow non-Muslim Americans to go to Mecca?
Actually, to allow women, not to force women to be veiled.
I didn't ask you about anything about
Saudi
veils.
Arabia at some point, and I didn't like it to be forced to be veiled.
Answer the question. Should non-Muslim Americans be allowed at Mecca?
This is something that's completely up to Saudi Arabia.
Oh,
this is a different country. This is a different system.
Oh, give me
I'm American, and I'm talking about America here.
Thing. You need to explain to people why Americans and non-Muslims are not allowed to go to Mecca.
We should set the model for other worlds to follow us.
That's right, and you and Imam Rauf need to set the model by going to Saudi Arabia and build a community center in Saudi Arabia.
The issue actually of this Islamic center is making
a synagogue with a rabbi and a pastor. We do not need to be preached about tolerance in the United States. We are tolerant. We have 2,000 mosques in the United States, 100 mosques in New York.
Yeah, but why have there been attempts
to the Middle East and build your community center in the Middle East where they need to be taught about tolerance?
You talk about tolerance. A bomb exploding in a mosque in Jacksonville, Florida in May, that's tolerance where 60 people are inside.
Excuse me?
And New York cabbie gets stabbed in New York.
Whoa, stop right there. Hamas just took credit for killing 4 innocent people and promised more killings.
Why are we talking about the Middle East when we're talking about America?
If you look at hate crimes in America,
why are we talking about the intolerance of the Middle East when we're talking now about America?
Jehan, the FBI points out that 66% of hate crimes are committed against Jewish Americans. It's 7.7% against Islamic Americans, Muslim Americans.
Yeah, but this is rising now, Sean. It's very evident from the headlines and from what happened lately.
We condemn hate crimes.
And New York cabbie was stabbed because it was Muslim.
11th, all the attacks
a bomb exploded in a mosque.
How many attacks against Muslims did you hear of?
So far, it's the Muslim cabbie. But there were desecrations of mosques.
Let me hang on, one at a time.
That exploded.
One at a time. Brigitte, I'm going to give you the last word.
I want to ask Brigitte in Florida.
One question.
What does that tell you?
What do you see around the world? Because Imam Rauf wants America to be Sharia compliant. Explain what Sharia means in reality around the world for women.
Sharia is the codification of the Quran, of the laws of Quran. It is oppressive to women. Sharia treats women as second-class citizens, as basically the hadith says treat them like barn animals, like you would treat animals. Women are oppressed, and not only when it comes to just wearing the hijab, when it comes to inheritance, when it comes to rape, when it comes to their role in the family. And Sharia is against the infidels as well, teaches the killing of the infidel. This is what we need to be discussing.
Okay, and what about Sharia in America, Bridget? What about
Thank you
Sharia
both
in
for being
America,
with
Bridget?
us. I wish we had more time. And coming up, brand new polling data spells doom for Democrats in the run-up to the midterm elections, and you won't believe which seat, once firmly in the Democratic column, is now in play. Dick Morris and David Limbaugh is here tonight to talk about his #1 New York Times best-selling book. Straight ahead.